this is Rabbit Ears Blog, and welcome to my general discussion series. Today's general discussion is going to be on how do you feel about animation shifts in your favorite cartoons. Like, for example, say that your favorite cartoon started off as a traditionally animated TV series, and then later on went to a CGI animated series, or if the show started off as a Flash animated series and it became anime style later in the later seasons. How do you feel about those kind of changes in animation for your favorite show? For me, it all really depends how jarring it is when they make the animation change, when they make the changes to the animations. Like, a good example of this would be like what happened to the later seasons of Arthur. Like, for I think about over 14 years, I believe, Arthur has been traditionally animated, and now recently they're making a Flash animated series, which at first I did find it a little jarring because I was so used to Arthur being traditionally animated, but I think later on I was like, well, it's not too bad because the Flash animation, even though it's a little different from the traditionally animated shows of the earlier seasons, it wasn't too different. It still moved the same, about the same way as the traditional show. Um, in a sense, but again, it was a little jarring when I first saw the changes because it's like I was so used to Arthur being traditionally animated, and then it changed to Flash animation, and I was like, oh, this is a little different. But in the case of Arthur, it wasn't too bad for me because again, the animation wasn't too different from how it was traditionally animated. Now, another show that did annoy me a little bit when the animation changed was Cyber Chase, and that was when it started off as a traditionally animated show, but they also changed the Flash animation in later seasons. But the change there is a little more jarring than it would be on Arthur because the characters move much faster, and the early seasons the characters kind of were moved a little slower when they went traditionally animated, and it was just kind of like really jarring for me because the animation looks so different from each other. Um, from the first few seasons to the later seasons, it was just the animation was just so jarring from the change of traditional animation to Flash animation. So there are some shows where they change the animation, but it becomes so jarring because there's like so many differences in the animations that you're wondering to yourself, is this the same show I'm even looking at? And I did think that way when I was watching Cyber Chase. I was like, is this the same show I'm watching? Sure, they got the same characters, but the animation's way different. And I wondered to myself, would this fit the mood of the show? Like, there's some shows I think works better when they're traditionally animated, like Arthur, for example. It just seems like that type of show that's like, it works better when it's traditionally animated, or because it's just so traditional in itself. So when it went to Flash animation, I was like, oh, well, this is a totally different show. It's not that traditional compared to the earlier seasons. But again, the Flash animation wasn't that jarring. It still contained that traditional style from the original season. So it's just Flash animated, but still pretty much the same show I was looking at from the previous seasons. So, what are your opinions about this? How do you feel about TV shows that started off with a specific style of animation and then changing in the last few seasons? Please feel free to comment below, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter so I can keep you updated on any new videos I post up. And also, if you have any general discussions that you wish for me to discuss, please feel free to comment below and I'll see what I can do about it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rabbit Ears Blog, and I'll see you later.